Are you interested in jade?
Oh, no.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of jade
That's
right now.
unfortunate. That's really...
I don't know what to do with it. I bought a lot of jade.
That's rather unfortunate for you.
Can I interest you in a block?
You can interest me in iced coffee.
Okay, I have iced coffee.
Bull.
I do. It's iced coffee, except it's a green precious material in the shape of a cube, and it's not a liquid. Hello.
Hi, and welcome back.
Welcome back. To While the Clothes Dry
With Alex and B.
with B and Alex.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Let's row.
What's our topic for today, Alex?
Today we will be discussing fantasy.
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 Okay.
Riddle me this. Oh, tricks of B. Were you influenced by fantasy?
Very nice, very nice. Yeah. I mean, I would say like most children, I was influenced by fantasy in different ways. Growing up as a child, I think my first exposure to fantasy that I can think about, that I can remember, is the Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh.
The book, I believe, was read to me by my father, and we would watch the VHS tapes of the old BBC versions of the Chronicles of Narnia, including The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and all the way up until the Silver Chair, I believe, was the last one that we had on VHS tape. I don't know if they ever actually did any of the other ones, but that would be a fanciful influence that I had. Along with also, I remember my dad reading some of the Black Cauldron books. So I believe it was The Horned King was the first book, and then the Black Cauldron was the second book. But I remember those as well being memorable, fanciful books. So listening to books being read to me as a child, and then also, watching different things.
Interesting. I actually didn't know that the Black Cauldron was a book.
Yeah, it's actually a series.
Oh my god.
It's not the same
as the cartoon.
Film, the cartoon. I mean, there are some similar characters, but definitely darker, I would say.
Okay.
And also just like there's just a lot more fantasy and imagination.
Because that's a dark cartoon for Disney.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Which is interesting because it's even darker, right? Is that one character, you've seen it, right? You've seen the cartoon. Is that one doggish character in there?
Gurgi. Yes, Gurgi is in the books, as far as I remember, but I don't remember I don't think he was a furry dog character. I think he was something else.
Like a golem kind of thing?
I think, similar to that. So, another one I would say is Lord of the Rings. But I did not listen to the books.
No.
Growing up. I read The Hobbit when I was probably in 5th or 6th grade.
Yeah, Around the same time, me too.
But not for school.
No?
No.
Oh, I did it for AR points.
Yeah, no. Most people had to do it for school. I just read it.
Because you wanted to.
Yeah, I don't really remember why. But the Lord of the Rings movies came out when we were a kid. And we were children?
When we were a kid.
We were a kid.
We were a kid one point.
At
one point, we were a kid.
A child.
Like, we were like a little fused kid.
No. But, I believe the first one came out in like 2001. And then 2003 and 2005 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But that was also very influential. Watched those very young. Definitely remember watching those. And then being like, close your eyes, this part's scary. But, yeah, definitely.
Interesting. Yeah, I had the pleasure of watching those in college.
Yes.
I had never seen those before. I've seen The Hobbit. My dad's a big fan of the Hobbit movies.
Really?
Yeah.
I have a cool story about that.
Do you?
So I'm a fan of the Hobbit movies. They've got a lot of shade because they're very different from the book.
Okay.
And the books.
Yeah.
And they add some unnecessary love interests and stuff like that. But
yeah.
When the first one came out, I went to see the midnight premiere with my older sister and my dad. Because we were all three old enough to go to see that movie, the midnight premiere. And then we did that for the second one as well. We did the midnight premiere. And then the third one, we went to like the 10 p.m. Midnight premiere, quote unquote. It was more like a vigil mass, but instead of a midnight mass. But
oh my gosh.
Church service the day before on Saturdays.
Ah.
But yeah, so I liked the Hobbit movies, and that makes sense for some reason that your dad would like it because he never read the book.
No,
as far as I
not
know.
as far as I know.
Yeah,
but so... he loves that kind of action movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the last movies were called The Desolation of Smaug, or were they called like?
The Desolation of Smaug was the second.
Okay, then what was the third one? Was it like the Wall, the Great War or something?
There are lots of them about the Great War. The War of the Five Armies, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
I think that's what it is. Which is it's funny. Most of them seem to end with war because war or king. Because the last battle is the name of the last C.S. Lewis Chronicles of Narnia book.
Interesting.
But I have the list here of the quote unquote Black Cauldron series, I guess it would be called, by Lloyd Alexander, actually. The books are The Book of Three, The Black Cauldron, The Castle of Llyr. Lyre?
I would say liar.
Liar. Tavern Wanderer, and The High King.
Wow.
And the High King was the boy.
What?
He becomes the High King.
Whoa.
As far as I remember. But one thing that actually stuck with me from, I believe it was the third book, or maybe it was after the first one. It talks about how he comes back to his farm. So if you've seen the Black Cauldron movie, you know, he lives on a farm, he works at the pig farm.
Yeah.
And then he goes on this crazy adventure and he comes home. He's like, oh, it's like great being home.
Yeah.
I remember there was part of one of the books where he comes home. Did I tell you this before?
No.
Okay.
No, I just like looking at you.
I wasn't sure. Where he comes home and he's like, my bed felt smaller. My room felt smaller. My house felt smaller. And how, because he had experienced so much, the world around the world that he knew had shrunk.
Yeah.
And it was so, like, unfulfilling.
You were just telling me about the theme of this.
I was.
Yeah, I don't remember how it came up, but I remember you saying that that's the price that adventurers pay.
Yes. Yes.
And I remember being very like not dumbfounded because it isn't something like foreign to me to think about that,
Right.
but being like genuinely rather surprised at you like talking about it. It's not usually something you speak about.
No. Yeah.
You're not that into like those kinds of things normally, right? And by that I mean like more depressing themes.
Yeah. No, for
You
sure.
you love yourself a good happy ending, but you liked that, and I really appreciated hearing about that. But if you remember, you were basically saying like, yeah, these main characters, these adventurers, leave their hometowns and they go on this grand adventure just to end up home again,
Right.
and that does something to you.
Mm-hmm. Because you've experienced things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember whether it was the beginning of one of the books or at the end of one of the books, but oh, it wasn't Tavern Wanderer, it was Taran Wanderer,
Taran.
because that's the um the main character's name,
Oh.
Taran, and that is
right.
what it is in the movie as well.
Oh no shit.
Taran, Princess Ailanwi, Gurgi, the Horned King.
Dude, I remember why I don't remember them.
Why?
Because they are like mashing your hand on a keyboard.
That's how you felt with the Lord of the Rings too.
Yeah,
right? Let's talk about that for a second.
Like, whoa, but what? What do you want to? What?
I want you to talk about how like frustrated you were with the names.
I just there were a lot of them that were very similar. There's like 7 Gorns. No. There's 7 mirrors. Like, isn't it like Faramir, Boromir, something mirror, handheld mirror?
Boromir,
Mhm.
Faramir, Aemir.
Oh yeah, Aemir, who doesn't die, but he's
Awen.
yeah, Erwin,
Awen.
Erwin,
Awen.
Erwin,
Awen.
Erwick.
Awen marries Faramir.
What? No, I thought Erwin was Aragorn's
It's
boy,
Awen.
or
That's-
Aragorn's girl.
That's Arwen.
No.
Yes, Awen Arwen.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
You're probably right. And then Erwin is the sleeping mattress guy, the ortho mattress guy. You're killing me, Larry.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Oh. Well, that's my fantasy. as in like that's the fantasy I grew up with. The sleeping what is it? Sit and sleep.
Nope.
You've never sit and sleep will beat anyone's price, so your mattress is free.
Nope.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, maybe it's a regional thing. Anyway, whatever. Not important. What is important is that you understand that while the names were frustrating, and while I didn't learn a single damn place, like the name for a place aside from Gondor and the Shire, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was also like plains, there was mountains, there was the mines of like, was it Moira?
Moria,
Yeah, and that funky looking squid motherfucker, right?
the Watcher.
Yeah, who I frankly he needed more screen time.
Okay.
But something tells me, and I didn't read the book, something tells me there's several pages about him, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Oh, and Bad Guy Zone, which then became Deforestation the movie. Right? Great. What I'm trying to say is, I really liked it. I loved it, right? And I appreciate it, despite not knowing all the lore, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that makes me like a dumbass, but I would say that doesn't make me an avid Lord of the Rings lore Chad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Some of my buddies are. That's great. I love that for them.
Yeah.
Right? Some of my buddies, there's not much that really gets them excited. and they get excited about stuff like this, right?
Right.
That's great, right? I love that for them. That makes me very happy, right?
Yeah.
But I can't talk to them about it.
Yeah. Is that frustrating?
It simply bores me.
Because you don't want to listen either.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Well, cause it's like and he's son to Bill Floor, who birthed Gonflossinor, and it's like I don't know what you're talking about, right? Or I do, but like I don't know how this relates to much. It's really really cool that Tolkien came up with lore and family history lineage for all of these characters, and they fit in to this giant puzzle, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm missing something every time they tell me about that, you know?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, no. I don't want sympathy. I feel like I don't really understand why you need to know who, like, Thorin Oakenshield's 14th cousin twice removed is if he never shows up on screen.
What's the name of the pig in Gravity Falls?
Waddles? Why?
It's like that.
No, Waddles is awesome.
It's like that.
What do you mean?
What's the name of the pyramid bad guy?
Bill Cipher.
Okay. What's the name of the three-eyed chick in Steven Universe?
You talking about Garnet?
Yeah.
Garnet's like a main character.
I know. Obviously, I don't watch Steven Universe.
What's the name of that three-eyed chick?
I mean, I know you can delve into lore of things.
But you're right. I guess what I'm trying to say is that's his name. It's a pig. And like he has like episodes to himself. You know what I mean? Like, or they're more like shorts. But like,
those are all fantasy, by the way. Well, I guess Steven Universe is sci-fi, but
no, Steven Universe kind of crosses the line between sci-fi. Well, because it started as magic.
It's science fantasy, I guess.
It started as magic, and then it became aliens.
Is magic required for something to be fantasy?
No, because science fiction is fantasy. Everything, I think, follows under the umbrella of
anything that's not reality.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Have you ever heard of Sir Machinery?
No.
It is a book about a mechanical robot with a computer brain who helps the wizard Merlin overcome evil forces that are encroaching on the earth.
So this is either a really cool, like, dystopian novel or a really tacky Adult Swim show.
1970 fantasy fiction.
Okay.
Book.
Weird. 70s makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Someone was tripping balls and they were like, I need a robot to help Merlin. Right? I don't know why. But pair that fucker with a robot now.
I might read that.
That actually sounds like a cool read.
I think we got it from the library. So my dad also read that to us when we were kids.
The robot book?
The Sir Machinery.
Dude,
because I believe
awesome.
that it was one of his books growing up.
Really?
Like a book that he... That's my door.
That's really unsettling.
Yeah, imagine that happening in the middle of the night because you forgot to close the door when you went to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, me neither. Anyway, yeah, so I'm pretty sure it was a book that he read as a kid growing up.
Okay.
So he wanted to share that with us.
That's awesome. Like, that's an awesome thing to read as a kid. I bet your dad was like, yes. Like I bet he read like the line and Merlin teamed up with the robot. He was like, yes. You know?
Maybe. I mean, my dad's pretty cool. Well, the thing is that like, I feel like it was a product of its time.
Yeah, I don't think it would go well now.
I mean, I feel like I want to give it a shot.
Oh no! I know. I'm just saying, like, if somebody conceived that now, no one would take a chance on it.
Oh no, they'd be like, lame.
They'd be like, go back to your house, you pothead, and then all the execs would high five each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that how
and
it
they
goes
do
down?
that thing that like insecure men do, where they slap each other's butts to maintain dominance over each other, and they look like a bunch of penguins.
Sometimes I understand you.
I'm gonna take that as a compliment. I don't know if I said this yet, but my first instance of remembering fantasy, um, aside from like Disney, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like Disney, there's a lot of quote unquote magic in everything they do, right? But the fact that it's a cartoon already leads you to a slight suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
Um, my experience that I'm gonna quote is the Magic Treehouse.
That was another one that was on my list.
The Magic Treehouse.
That was another one on my list.
They're actually lining that shelf if you ever want to pick one up. There's a bookcase in B's room of some of the old books that I used to have.
I had to read book 17 for a book club, and I was so disappointed we weren't reading all of them. Because I had no emotional connection to the characters. Because I picked up this book and was like, I guess I gotta read it. For this book club that I'm part of, which, it wasn't that bad.
Oh, yeah.
I won the Write with Your Eyes Closed contest because I didn't write with my eyes closed.
You cheated? Oh my god.
That happened.
There was a summer where we were at the library a lot because there was a program called I think Read to Succeed, and it was a cool beach theme, and we were beach kids. We were like, that's targeted at us. And me and my sister sat in the library so often. We grabbed books, we read the shit out of them, and we traded in those knowledge nuggets. We just said we read the books for
Did you read them?
Most of them.
Or did you just say you read them?
Most of them we read. We tried to pick books that weren't like too challenging.
I feel that.
But we wanted pens, and we wanted erasers that looked like grapes and strawberries.
Aw, that's cute.
All right, and we wanted candy. We wanted so much candy, and we achieved it. We eventually got tired of that though. We just started like hanging out or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was cool.
Was your library cool for hanging out?
It was okay. There was one section. There was a table right by this like small fish tank, and I always wanted to sit there.
We didn't have a real fish tank. You know what we had?
Those plastic fish that jumped around with bubbles.
No.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't know what they're called. They're called like kinetics. But they're like long, cylindrical.
With the metal balls?
No, I don't think they had metal balls.
Oh.
They clicked together. It was K apostrophe NEX. And I don't know whether the librarians had done it, but there was fish that were made out of these little plastic things and hung from strings, and you could watch them for hours. Not real fish, but pretty good for a kid.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I didn't have. I wasn't picky. Plus, I wasn't really there to watch the fish. I was there to get books and check out books, stuff like that.
I was there to watch the fish.
I believe it.
I like the fish. Um, but yeah, Magic Treehouse. Charlie Bone was awesome.
What's that?
Charlie Bone is a kid, um, who like has like weird powers, and like he is like associated with other kids with weird powers. I don't remember too well, but I remember being really into it for a hot minute.
Gives me Flat Stanley vibes.
Flat Stanley? No, 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 no. This one, no pictures for starters.
Mm.
Um, weird. Um, Billy is like his friend, and I think he's an albino, and he can talk to three cats. Um, and then Charlie Bone, I think he has the ability to like revisit memories through pictures.
Weird.
And he doesn't know anything about his parents, but he slowly finds out stuff through pictures he finds of them.
I mean, that's pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, and there's another kid who's kind of like weak little guy, but he's also long, like tall, I mean, And if he touches clothes, he can like tell who wore it last and like what happened to them.
Whoa, that's
And
trippy.
they find like a tattered like clothing of like somebody they think they're trying to look for,
Mm-hmm.
and it's in like a back alley, and they're like, okay, you gotta touch this, and he's like, I don't really I don't really want to touch that.
I'm kind of good. I
And they're
think.
like, touch it please, bitch, please. And he's like, okay, but if I trip out, and then he touches it and he goes, and I believe he relives a murder.
What?
Yeah, or like I don't know if it's a murder or if someone just gets like the tar beaten out of them. But I know that he
Sheesh.
like passes out. I remember that vividly. That
And
he
he's
was like,
like,
oh,
this is too much.
oh, because he feels everything that happens to them.
Oh,
That's
fun.
what it is. He doesn't he literally relives it.
Ooh. Mm-mm. No,
So
thank
it'd
you.
be like touching my shirt and like reliving the last few minutes of my life, which would just be talking, but you'd be looking at me periodically, or you'd be looking at you periodically.
That would be weird. I don't know if I'd like that so much.
That would be kind of awkward, yeah. Um, but yeah. What do you think is your favorite fantasy that you have read
Or experienced.
or experienced?
I mean, like, I don't know.
Like watched?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, oh gosh. I have some really great memories when um the Narnia movie came out.
Old or
The
new?
first
Oh
new
right, I guess you weren't alive when the
Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe movie came out.
right.
Um, I loved that so much. I actually have a stuffed lion
Aslan?
whose name's Aslan. Yes.
Assman?
No, Aslan.
Aslan?
Aslan. However you say it.
Oh my gosh.
And I think my 5th birthday party was themed.
Hell
Narnia
yeah.
theme.
Hell yeah.
We like put all the stuffed animals surrounding Aslan to represent all the animals and creatures and stuff.
You know my favorite fucking part of that movie, the first one,
What?
is when they get the gifts from Santa.
That part is pretty dope.
For some reason, I love that part. It gives me
You
the
mean
same.
Father Christmas?
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, Father Christmas. And yeah, I remember being like this, because I'm thinking about it now, right? Now I'm like, oh, that's very reminiscent of the scene from Lord of the Rings where the fancy like laser light show lady with the screechy voice in Elf World gives them all the gifts,
Oh my gosh. No way. You're talking about Galadriel?
Galaxia?
Galadriel.
What the Galadriel?
Morning Star?
I don't know. Someone told me that her eyes sparkle because she was the last remaining elf to see the glory of Gonzaga or something like that.
Yep.
I don't know what
That's
that means,
Galadriel.
but I was like, man, that's great. She's got a good sheen to her, I guess. Sure, pal, but could you pass the KFC bucket of chicken?
Wow.
I don't mean to be rude, but I'm starving over
Oh
here.
my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh, but anyway, that's what it reminded me of. Yeah, Father Christmas was Galadriel in the Narnia series. Um, and you know what makes me sad about that scene now that I look back at it?
Wow.
Um, you know, everyone gets a gift except for Judas, the Judas of the series, the misunderstood
No, he
black-haired boy.
does.
He doesn't, or
Wait,
he
the
does.
black haired boy?
The little brother. He's not there, is he? In that scene?
Whoa. Are you talking about Faramir?
I'm talking about Narnia again.
Oh, Edmund.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about Lord of the Rings. My bad.
No. Sorry. I
That
should
was
have been clear.
definitely confusing for a second.
No,
Edmund isn't there, so he doesn't get anything.
that's what I'm saying. Like, little one gets like healing potion, right?
I actually had a replica of her dagger
Oh.
and her vial of healing potion.
Yeah.
I actually have it's in the attic at my PA house.
When he gave her that, I was like, I shouldn't be this like, aw, over a little girl getting a knife. But she was like,
She's like, I don't need a knife though.
She's like, but I don't need it though. And he was like, yeah, but you like need it. And then the older sister gets a bow and
a horn, which is reminiscent
and the horn of the horn of Gondor.
Yes.
That Boromir sounds.
Yes, in the first.
Which Boromir is
second
my
half of the first
favorite
movie.
member of the Fellowship, despite like being over pretty soon.
Aw. The end of the. Yeah, but he is such an important character.
Yeah, he is. And it's not like we never see him again in the movies. And then back to Narnia. The oldest son gets the sword. I don't think he gets anything else.
I think he gets a shield. I think he gets a sword and a shield.
Oh, okay. Well, there
They
you go.
each get two things, I think.
One one offense and one defense item. Secondary weapon, secondary slot. Everyone gets like a cool thing. His is to block. Hers is to screech, and little girl's is to heal.
Yeah.
Or it could be argued that her secondary is to knife.
Yeah.
Based on who she is.
Yeah.
She's a very kind young girl.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, the bow is also reminiscent. I feel like a common theme in magic is that like a magic bow that like always hits its target, because in Narnia, Susan has to trust the bow.
Oh.
And if she puts her faith in the bow, it always shoots true.
Right.
But in Lord of the Rings, I'm pretty sure
They just don't miss.
No. Like when Galadriel gives Legolas a bow, and is like, bro, dope bow though. No, I don't remember. But
and he says his signature catchphrase.
No, there are so many. I don't know which came out first though. Hold on, let me do some research.
I thought it was Lord of the Rings.
Probably.
But I don't know. I guess I just assume based on how people talk about it that it's like the father of fantasy, you know?
Yeah.
It would make sense if it wasn't. Even if it wasn't, it was like the cornerstone of it. There's so much detail put into it.
Oh my gosh, like.
Yeah.
Like, Lord of the Rings is intense. Although there are more books in the Narnia series. Do you know that? Can you name all the books? Do you know them?
Isn't it the so it's the Narnia 1, the Lion, the Witch, and the One Solomon.
That's the second one.
What? So then it's the Narnia, right? Chronicles of Narnia.
No, the Chronicles of Narnia are the entire set of books.
Okay, well then let's see here.
It's also going back, the Chronicles of Paradigm is the Black Cauldron series.
Okay.
So the Chronicles of Narnia start with the Magician's Nephew.
Okay.
Then we have
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
then
what is freaking the Prince of Persia or
Prince
some shit?
Caspian.
Okay.
And then Voyage of John Trotter.
Mm-hmm.
The Boy and His Horse. The Silver Chair. And The Last Battle.
Did you enjoy the Harry Potter series?
I mean, that really wasn't my thing that much. You know, there's a lot of people, like, growing up, there's, like, a stigma around, like, the author and the use of spells and, like, real spells or whatever. And now she's canceled in culture for other reasons. But I didn't really grow up with Harry Potter that much.
I see. Yeah, I didn't grow up with a stigma of spells at all. For better or for worse. That wasn't really a thing in my childhood. No one was like, "Oh, mijo, things are evil," you know, or your equivalent of that. I'm not sure what that sounds like. Maybe like, Beatrix, these are godless things. I don't know, like, whatever. But I read all of them. I drank it up. I loved it. They were good, in my opinion. And each book felt like it was written from a character that grew up.
What do you mean?
Or not from the characters. It's not first person. It's a third person story.
Yes.
But it felt like the characters had grown every book. At least from what I remember. Like, he started out as a kid, and he was a young adult when it was over.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was something I really appreciated about it. Because he started out as like just kind of like, oh man.
12-year-old boy locked under the stairs.
Yeah, this shit sucks. Is kind of his mentality. And then he was like, oh, this shit doesn't suck. And then he was like, no, this shit sucks. That was his arc through the first book. And I remember, like, it set the tone for the rest of, like, the fucked up villains we were gonna encounter.
Yeah.
With the teacher whose back of his head was Voldemort.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, what the fuck?
So that's the first book, isn't it?
That's what I said.
Oh, okay. You just meant yeah. I listened to the first book and the second book on audiobook on YouTube, but I never actually read them. Did you, like, get them from the library, or did you own them, or?
Junior high, or like 5th grade, we could just take them home from the school library, check them out, get AR points. Never tested well. That was always disappointing.
For what?
For the test you had to take for AR points. No?
Nope.
Oh. Well, whenever you would check out a book, and you wanted to get AR points on them, you'd have to take a 10-question quiz on it in order to get the points. And if you got less than 5, you didn't get the points. And if you got anything below, like, 7, you'd get half.
Oof.
Like, they'd take off points, and you'd only get, like, 5.
That wasn't a thing.
But
you said that was, like, 5th grade. I was homeschooled, so.
Well, there you go. Junior high, too, though. Straight up. All the way. And, like, they'd take your grade down a letter if you didn't finish your points. And each kid, based on their initial score on the STAR test, which was, like, you didn't have that either, which was like a test you'd take about your ability to cognitively understand, like, written words and sentences.
Mm-hmm.
they'd give you an amount of points that you need to reach, right? So it kind of fucked with me, actually. I don't know if we should get into a school topic this time. Clothes are almost dry. But I I sincerely think that school, that way that they did that, fucked with me because I tested really good on the STAR test, and then they demanded more points from me than other kids.
Oh, yeah.
And I could never meet it.
It's annoying.
And so, and the thing is, when I would meet it, when I'd push myself to meet it, they'd reward me by making me get more points.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't be able to fulfill it, and they'd bring me back to my initial points. So it's like, well, wait a minute. Maybe I should do bad so that I don't have to work as hard.
Right.
I have buddies of mine that, like, they only need like 15 points, and I'm over here, I need like 45. Why the hell would I work so hard? And I think that was a reason that I became a slacker. Yeah, when and we had AR a lot.
What
Like,
does AR stand for?
Accelerated reading. And because in kindergarten I was like one of 3 kids who like was reading some like bigger boy books. You know what I mean? Like books that had like complete sentences. I know.
I mean, I'm sure after when you're a kid.
But
it's different, but
yeah, I was doing well, and then I was like, I don't want to do well.
Yeah.
This sucks. Like, no good is coming of this aside from like people thinking that I'm smart, and it wasn't worth it.
But that's like everything in life, isn't it?
What?
Like, the more you show you're capable of, the more people expect of you.
Yeah.
And we're all guilty of that. You know what I mean? It's like, if I show you I can handle something, then you expect that from me as the new bottom line.
Yeah. I guess so. I guess that's kind of a fault of everyone.
Yeah. Again, it sounds like it develops in your education.
Yeah.
At least in the United States. But it's interesting how, like, in fantasy, they're more tested, like, intellectually and, like, wit and feats of strength than, like, how many reading points they get.
I'd go further than just like wit and intelligence and strength. Their like soul gets tested.
I feel that.
Some of the best characters, or some of my favorite characters, like heroes in fantasy, have their resolve tested. Like their ability to continue.
Yeah.
Like, you can be witty and be like weak. You know what I mean? Or you can be a genius and be a coward. Or you can be strong but not have the strength to continue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can be physically strong but spiritually weak. But the heroes are the ones that, despite it all, are still there. And everything else helps.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's like you have to be the whole package.
Right.
To be a true hero.
I don't know if that's true, though.
Why?
Not every hero is strong and smart and witty, you know? Like, are cunning. Look at Frodo. That fucker gets bodied like a bag of meat for like most of the story. Right? Frodo has a strong soul. Because who the fuck else would feasibly get in front of the Council of Elrond, right? That I remember.
Yeah.
Right? Because that fucking sat with me. like porridge that just gets stuck to your bones,
Oh.
right? Who the fuck else would be like, no, like, I'm not gonna listen to all of you and your prejudice against each other. Just let this happen again, right? And let this just anger come out around this ring. I will take it. Despite what I'm leaving behind.
Right.
Despite everything that I have back home. I will bear this burden. Because I am the smallest person in this room. But I am also the biggest person in this room.
And Gandalf's face just like says it all. His face
Yeah.
is like,
he closes his eyes
because which is funny. It's a testament to the acting, but
yeah.
we're not gonna get into that. But yeah, it's just because he the whole time they don't think he's gonna survive.
No one does. No one really does.
Which that's the best part, honestly.
And whether or not it's because they're like, oh yeah, he's a hobbit, he's gonna fucking die, right?
Like, he gets to a point where he doesn't think he's gonna survive.
Yeah, there's a point where we don't think he's gonna survive. Like, if you're just a moviegoer and you're like, that guy gonna die.
Yeah.
Right? But I mean, he doesn't.
But then the friggin' just the eagles, like, yes. I love that.
Fuck the Eagles. How about that?
Why?
How about that? Fuck the Eagles. They didn't do anything. You know why they didn't do anything? Because they couldn't do anything.
Have you seen the Battle of the Five Armies?
Oh, yeah. Wait, you're talking about the Hobbit one?
Yeah. They also saved Gandalf from...
Yeah, okay, fine. Oh, eagle!
They're kind of like...
Oh, no, he whispers to a butterfly. He's like, get me the fuck out of here. And the butterfly's like, oh, oh! And he runs over to the eagles.
It's a moth.
Oh, it's a moth?
I'm pretty sure it's a moth.
I see.
That's funny. Don't give me the fuck.
Oh, come here. Help me. The eagles are like, damn, we look good. And they're like high fiving each other and slapping each other's butts to assert dominance.
Yeah.
And then the moth is like, it's like, what, bro? Chill. You're tripping, dog. And then he's like, Gandalf needs help. And the eagles are like, oh, what's up? And then he's like, yeah, you don't see that part.
Yeah, no, that's all in the after credits scene.
Yeah, no. Anyway. Yeah, so okay, maybe don't fuck the Eagles. Like, not, I mean, like, it's a good movie. But yeah, no, back to my original point, before I digress further. Spirit, soul, resolve, that is the mark of a hero. Because, yeah, you're right, like, strength, cunning, smarts, awesome, right? But in The Hobbit, or not in The Hobbit, in Lord of the Rings, that was everybody else's job. But he who had to cast it into the volcano, his soul was strong.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Which, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. And then don't even get me started on Sam. Right?
Yeah.
I forget why he couldn't hold the ring. Is there a reason?
He couldn't. Because it was Frodo's burden to bear.
Did he ever get a chance to be like, I'll do it?
I mean, in the books and in the cartoon movie, he gets corrupted.
Are you serious?
Like, not fully corrupted, but like a little bit. He's like, I will be Samwise the Strong.
Oh.
And everyone will love me.
Interesting.
But he offers in the movie, the live action one, he's like, share the load. And it's like really slow because Frodo's like tripping out.
Yeah,
He's
but
like, no!
Yeah, but I don't know if that's Sam being like corrupted or if that's Frodo being like, oh,
It's both. Kind
it's
of.
both. Okay, I will
I
say.
mean, no. In that moment, it's not. I don't
Okay, it
think
is
it's him being.
Frodo.
It's
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 Frodo being
Frodo tripping
paranoid.
out, but
Um,
in the books, I'm pretty sure he has some trouble.
Books.
But Sam is honestly Sam is a
Great.
yes.
Oh man. Um, yeah. I mean, when that fucker duked that out with a spider, he was my hero. I'll tell you that much.
Name the spider.
Um, Rosie, or is that his wife?
That's his wife.
That's his wife. Yeah.
She's not a spider.
Bathsheba,
Close.
Bethlehem.
Nope. She.
Is it just Sheba?
It's Shelob.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I got excited when I was close. Yeah, no. Just no. 0 out of 10
For what?
for Shelob.
You didn't like Shelob.
Gross. Disgusting. Awful.
Alex doesn't like spiders.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, our laundry's actually been done for a little while now.
We got a love story of
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings.
we got a little off track, but yeah, I'd say it was worth it. You know,
Yeah.
we can go for another cycle to make sure they're not wrinkled.
We're gonna light our clothes on fire.
Look, we need to incinerate them, right, to get all the stains out. No, I'm getting a no.
Pulls them out and they're 2 sizes too small.
2 sizes too small, like the Grinch.
Yeah.
We'd like to thank you for listening to our 4th episode. We're having a real romp with these. Yeah. Me and my best friend over here are enjoying these.
That's me.
Yeah, it's for yeah. But yeah. So we'll catch you next time. Hope you enjoyed.
Yeah. Go to your local library, read fantasy.
Yeah, stare at the damn fish. They miss you.
Explore the world around you.
Mm-hmm. And see the trilogy. The Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's awesome. I know I loved it. Alright. Bye-bye.
Bye.